they involve these methods. Okay. Atoms of metallic elements that have 1, 2, 3 electrons. Atoms of metallic elements that have 1, 2, 3 valence electrons can lose electrons to the non-metallic elements that have 7, 6, 5 electrons in their outermost shell. So it means atoms of metallic elements that have 1, 2 and 3 electrons, valence electrons present in the outermost shell, they will lose their electrons. So the metallic elements which have 1 electron in the outermost shell, or 2 electrons in the outermost shell, or 3 electrons in the outermost shell, they will lose their electrons to the non-metallic elements that have 7, 6, 5 electrons. 5 electrons in their outermost shell. The metallic elements that have 1, 2, 3 electrons in their outermost shell, they will lose their electrons. To those of non-metallic elements which have 7, 6, 5 electrons in their outermost shell. So by losing and by gaining, they will attain the stable electronic configuration. So metallic elements, they will lose them, whereas non-metallic elements, they will gain the electrons. So by losing, they will attain the stable state, and by gaining, they will attain the by losing, metals will gain stable state, and non-metals, they will attain the stable state by gaining the electrons. So this will happen in the case of electrovalent bond, transfer of electrons from one atom to the another atom. So after the transfer of electrons, both combine. So after transfer of electron from one atom to the another atom, they will combine to form a stable electronic configuration, stable state. After transfer of electron from metals to the non-metals. So metallic elements that have 1, 2 or 3 electrons in their outermost shell, and they will lose their electrons to the those electrons which have 7, 6, 5 electrons in their outermost shell, that is non-metallic. Cation, that is the metallic elements which will lose the electron and becomes a positive charged particle, that is called cation. And anion, the non-metallic elements which gain the electrons and becomes a negatively charged particle, that is the anion. That is a charged particle which is formed due to the gain or loss of one or more electrons in their atom. In the electropositive element, the atom which gain the positive charge by losing the electron. The atom, one atom that will gain the positive charge by losing the electrons. For example, sodium atom. Right there, electron. So it will becomes Na plus. By losing one electron, sodium atom is changed into a sodium ion or cation. Clear? There is a difference between the sodium atom and sodium ion. Sodium ion, when you are telling sodium ion, when it is going to lose the electron, that time it will attain the positive charge, that will gain the positive charge. So that is a sodium ion. Clear? That is called electropositive element. Now sodium, this is the electropositive element. Electropositive element. Similarly, electronegative element. The non-metallic element whose atom readily accept the electrons. So non-metallic, we know that already. Non-metallic elements, they will accept the electrons. By accepting the electron, become a negatively charged particle. It means anion. So for example, chlorine, it will accept the electron. Now this is a chlorine atom. Okay, sodium atom, chlorine atom. should write there. It will become Cl minus. Now it is chloride ion. Chloride ion. Chloride ion. There is a difference between the sodium atom and sodium ion. Similarly, chlorine atom and chlorine ion. Be careful there. Okay. So this is about the electropositive element and this is the electronegative element. Electronegative element. Electropositive element is metallic element which is going to lose the electron. Going to lose the electron, that is a electropositive element, and the electronegative element, that is the non-metallic element, is going to accept the one or two atoms. They will not only one atom they will accept. So in the other cases they will accept more than one atoms. That's why one or two atoms, those non-metallic elements which are going to accept one or two atoms, that is a electron and becomes a negatively charged particle, that is electronegative element. So now move to the next electrovalent compound. Now transfer of electrons from one atom an element to the another atom. So transfer of an electron from one atom of an element to the another atom of an element, that is called electrovalent compound. Sodium chloride, magnesium chloride, calcium oxide, these are the chemical electrovalent compound formed by the transfer of electron, formed by for the formation of electrovalent bond. So some of the few conditions are there to form the electrovalent bond. Conditions for the electrovalent bond. Condition for the electrovalent bond. The first condition is for the formation of electrovalent bond. Three conditions are there. The first condition, low ionization potential. Low ionization potential. So if the ionization potential or ionization energy is low, if energy is low, that time the atoms or metals, they will lose electrons very easily. Okay. So if low, for the first condition is low ionization potential. If the ionization energy is low in case of metals, they have lose the electrons very easily, and by losing the electron they will attain the positive charge, electropositive element. So the first condition is low ionization potential. Why it is low ionization potential? Because metals they can easily lose the electron. You already learned in the previous chapter about the ionization energy. Okay, ionization energy. If low ionization potential, ionization energy is low, then they will lose the electron very easily in case of metals, and they will gain the positive charge, cation. They attain the positive charge by losing the electron. This is the first condition. And next condition, high electron affinity. The second condition is high electron affinity. So if high electron affinity means electron affinity value is high, that time they will gain the electrons and becomes the negatively charged particle. So anion will be formed if high electron affinity value is there. If electron affinity value is high, that time they will become the anion. So first case ionization potential, that time they will become the cation. The electron, if high electron affinity value is there, that time they will become the anion. And so high, if the elements have high electron affinity, so they will forms the anion. So you learned in the last chapter. So high electron affinity leads to the formation of anion. High electron affinity value leads to the formation of anion. Clear? And the next third condition, large electronegativity values. Large electronegativity difference. And third condition, large electronegativity difference. Large electronegativity difference. If the electronegativity difference is more between the two atoms, if electronegativity difference is large, heavy is there, that time, so they will easily forms the electrovalent bond. Two atoms, their electronegativity is high, that time they will easily forms the electrovalent bond. They will easily forms the electrovalent bond. So it means larger the electronegativity differences between the two atoms, then the formation of electrovalent bond is very easy. To form the electrovalent bond is very easy to form the electrovalent bond. Large electronegativity difference values between the two atoms. So to form the electrovalent bond, two atoms required, no? Two elements that is required. To form the electrovalent bond, two elements that is required. So between the two elements, if large electronegativity value is there, that time they will easily forms the electronegativity. So these are the few conditions regarding ability to form the electrovalent bond. The first condition is low ionization energy. First condition is low ionization energy, and the second one electron affinity. So in case of low ionization energy, if ionization energy is low, that time they will easily lose the electron and becomes and gains the positive charge, that is cation. Second condition, electron affinity. If electron affinity value is more, that time it will becomes anion. That element becomes the anion. Clear? And third one, large electronegativity difference. Large electronegativity difference. So, and one more thing, why ionic compounds are called stable? Why ionic compounds called stable? What is the reason? Are formed by the ions, that is cation and anion. Formed by the ions, that is cation and anion. Usually we know that between positive and negative charges there will be attraction. Is it? So because of electrostatic force of attraction between the positive and negative charge, the ionic compounds are stable. Example for ionic compounds. The first one, sodium chloride, as we know that. Magnesium chloride. Third one, calcium oxide. Fourth one, potassium bromide. Fifth one, calcium chloride. So these are the few examples for the ionic compounds. So why ionic compounds are stable? Because it is formed by the combination of positive and anion. It means electrostatic force of attraction between positive and charge and negative charge. Because of that reason, ionic compounds are stable. And these are the few examples for the ionic compounds. Sodium chloride. Structure of electrovalent compound. The first one, sodium chloride. First one, sodium chloride. How the ionic bond sodium chloride is formed? You take sodium atom. Sodium atom. Sodium atom. Na. That is a Na. Sodium atom. Na. So it is a now neutral atom. It is now. Sodium atom is a neutral atom. So its electronic configuration. So atomic number 11. Atomic number 11. So its electron configuration, you can write there 2, 8, 1. So So yes, sodium atom is going to lose one electron. By losing one electron, going to attain the stable electronic configuration. Because if you lose one electron which is present in the outermost shell, so now look at that, 8 electrons in there. Which cell? L shell. So octet. So attain the nearest noble gas configuration, is it? So it attains the nearest noble gas configuration. Now look at how it is losing. So Na, sodium atom, its electron configuration 281. So it is losing electron, minus symbol, E minus. So it becomes Na plus cation. Cation, it's now 28 electrons. Cation 28. So 8 electrons in their outermost shell. It means it attains the stable electronic configuration. It attains the stable electronic configuration. The difference between the sodium atom and sodium ion. So there is a difference between the sodium atom and sodium ion. Let's see what is the difference. So property, the first property is color, and sodium atom, it is a silvery white. So it is white in color, silvery white. And sodium ion, that is a colorless. Sodium ion is a colorless. And next, toxicity. So when you come into the toxicity, sodium atom is poisonous. Sodium atom is poisonous. Sodium ion is non-poisonous. Sodium ion, non-poisonous. Ion means, so Na plus, positive charge is there. Na plus, here only Na. Sodium atom, sodium ion. Clear? So in case of toxicity, sodium atom is very poisonous and sodium ion, that is not poisonous. And next property, chemical action. Chemical action. So sodium atom is very active in nature. Sodium atom is very active in nature. Whereas sodium ion, it is inactive in nature. Sodium ion is inactive in nature. And next, valence shell. So we know that sodium atom, it has in its outermost shell 1 electron should be there. So it means incomplete outermost shell. So in case of sodium atom, incomplete outermost shell is there. Whereas in case of sodium ion, complete electron should be there. So it means it attains the stable nearest configuration, nearest stable state configuration. And next, electrical state. So electrical state, as I told, sodium atom is a neutral. Sodium atom is a neutral. Whereas sodium ion, that is a positive charge. Sodium ion is a positive charge. And next, existence, sodium atom present in the combined state. Combined state. Whereas the sodium ion, it is exists in the independent. It exists as a independent. It will not present in the combined state. So this is the difference between the sodium atom and sodium ion.